Alright, guys, how to start a business 101, part 13. Do you want it like you want the air you breathe? I can't express it enough, guys. You are either going to die or you are going to be successful. There are no other options. This is the path you must choose if you start a business. We're going to get into a couple different things. I guess the most important thing, right, is income versus expenses versus profits. It's really simple and really complicated when you get into the nitty gritty. Your auto expenses are a little different than this, that, and the other. You've got to categorize everything. It's a pain in the ass. If you're smart, you'll have a little bit of startup money, go ahead and get. If you don't have the patience and the energy when you come home from busting your ass to pay an accountant, it's not a bad deal. You know what I mean? If you don't feel like keeping up with the shit and learning how to do taxes, which I went that route. It was paying the dick. Now I'm just paying the accountant. You fucking do this, I'm going to go cut trees. That's what the fuck I want to do. I didn't get into this to do paperwork and taxes, so I'm not suggesting that to you guys. You do whatever you feel is best, especially when you're starting out. You should be able to semi-manage your expenses, your income, your profit, blah, blah, blah. But if you're like totally just disgusted with it like I am, just get a fucking accountant. Do the payroll, bookkeeping, whatever. Make 100 phone calls. Find who's going to be the most fair and affordable. Sometimes the cheapest ain't the best. You know what I'm saying, folks? You get what you pay for. You know, you want an accountant. An accountant is an investment. Ooh, I need to let that sink in. It's an investment. They are not an expense. They're going to save you the money that they cost, if not save you more money. You know what I'm saying? So don't look at your accountant as an expense. Look at them as an investment. That is big. But basically how your income, expenses, and profit go. You know, my first year I did a lot of cash jobs, and I was like, ooh, I'm Mr. fucking know-it-all sneaky. And now I ended up just claiming all those cash jobs because I spent so much money reinvesting into the business because I started with nothing. Started with the bare fucking minimum. You know, doing some dangerous shit with, you know, semi usable equipment. So your first year or two, if you're smart, you're going to reinvest the majority of that money right back into the business to get the shit you need to be productive and proficient and efficient at your job. Whatever it is you decide to get into, whatever business you decide to do, there are tools, software, whatever the fuck you're into, that are going to help you get jobs done faster, better, more quality, more effectively, safer. You know, in my case, safety is a big fucking deal. So, I mean, I've spent $500 on fucking just a blink of an eye, two things for safety. You know what I mean? It sucks, but I know I'm not going to die, so that's a good peace of mind to have. So basically, say you make $1,000 off a job, you spend $500 in expenses, you made $500 profit. You pay taxes on the profit. What can you reckon? Probably around 35%. You know what I mean? So $30 out of every 500, that's 30, 60, 90, 120, 150. You're looking at least $150 going to Uncle Sam. You know what I'm saying? But if you talk with your accountant, which you should do, don't be a dumb like me and just figure this shit out as you go. She might have to do it that way too. I'm a pit bull. I have to touch the iron. Some of y'all don't have to touch the iron. You're smarter than me. Be smarter than me if you can. So that's basically how it goes. You got your income, you got your expenses, and then you get your profit. You only pay taxes on your profit. I'm not gonna get into LLC versus you know, a C corp. I'm a sole proprietor right now, but I'm trying to get my taxes done, and I'm jumping over to LLC. What's the difference? LLC allows you to be a separate, instead of somebody suing me directly, they sue my company. Something goes down. So, big deal. If you don't want to lose your personal assets, your personal money, your personal shit, you might want to fucking start up an LLC or a C Corp. Long story short. Now, I heard once you start making over 30, 40 grand profit, now double check all this, guys, but this is rough estimate what I've researched. Once you start making over 30 to 40 grand profit, that's when the C Corp has a better tax advantage versus an LLC. I guess under that 30,000 mark or whatever, they're pretty much, you're paying the same taxes. So it's not a big deal to start a C Corp. But if you're making over 30, again, double check me. There's some guys out there. I'm trying to think of the guy's name. I can't remember his fucking name. Mark J. Kohler. Check him out, man. He is a tax whiz, and he kind of entertains you along. Again, taxes are not a fun subject, so he's actually kept me awake when he talks about taxes. So that's income, expenses, profit. I want to get into labor. Guys, you got 3 options here. Well, you got multiple options, right? You got pick the guy up at Home Depot, pay him cash, have a nice day. Never happened. But it did happen, and Uncle Sam didn't see that employee you paid. So he thinks, Uncle Sam, you made that money in profit. So say you paid that guy $100, but you didn't show Uncle Sam because you did it under the table. You're actually paying that guy, you're paying him $100, but you're paying $135 because your tax rate is about 35%. So the profit you showed on that job, even though you're paying Buddy under the table, Uncle Sam didn't see it. That's fine. Uncle Sam says, okay, you made an extra $100 profit, even though he doesn't see you handed it to him. We want 35% taxes on that. So that guy really cost you $135. Things to think about. 2, you see lawyer signs everywhere, guys. People will sue your fucking balls. So temp agency is not a terrible route to go when you're starting out. You're trying to feel out an employee. It's not a bad way to go. If you don't have somebody you can trust that you'd like to bring on, temp agency is probably the best way to go. That way, they want to sue anybody, they could sue the temp agency, not you, because that's who's covering their workers' comp, blah, 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 all that and some. Especially if you're doing commercial jobs, guys, you got to have workers' comp. I don't need workers' comp necessarily, but technically, if I have a guy on that property who doesn't have workers' comp, they could sue the homeowner, which is my client, which can then turn around and badmouth me online and fuck up my whole reputation. So, really want to play the cards right. You could do 1099, which is great, but the same rule applies. That 1099 is using your tools and shows up when you tell them to show up, and you're basically an employee just going through the 1099 system. That 1099 guy gets hurt, he can sue your fucking balls because you didn't have workers' comp, and you will lose. So, things to think about. Now, if you find a guy you want to keep, you don't want to go through the temp agency. Is a little more expensive route versus just throwing them on the payroll. You throw them on the payroll. Companies like ADP are kind of big, but I have talked to them. They said they can work with me, and the rates aren't too bad compared to the temp agency. They're not bad at all. But if you're feeling a guy out, temp agency route's the way to go. I think my temp agency charges me $21 an hour. If I want to pay somebody $15 an hour, it costs me $21 an hour. So, sorry about fucking roommates. I love them to death, boy, but they don't have a fucking volume monitor. So, anyways, yep, that's payroll. Definitely cover your ass, guys. Lawyer signs are everywhere for a reason, because somebody paid for them motherfuckers. Somebody got their balls sued. I don't want to see y'all be the ones getting sued. And if they do try to sue, let it be your LLC and not your personal bank account or your workers' comp instead of you. So, love y'all out. Got more coming your way.